Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's continuation of a long-running tradition at Parliament House, the lighting of the Christmas giving tree to begin the festive season. My name's Rob Stefnik. I'm the Secretary of the Department of Parliamentary Services, and I'll be your MC this morning. First, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I also like to acknowledge that the land on which Parliament House is situated has been a meeting place for First Nations people for thousands of years. I'm excited to welcome back the public to this event after Parliament House was closed during the 2021 Christmas sitting period. I'd like to welcome our hosts, the President of the Senate, Senator the Honourable Sue Lyons, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honourable Milton Dick MP. As we do each festive season, we're supporting two charities who do important work for the community as part of our giving tree. I'd like to give a big thank you to our Parliamentary Engagement branch team for getting the building into the festive spirit by setting up this beautiful 6-metre high tree, which there's no easy feat. I think a cherry picker is used to set it up. And I'd like to thank the students of St Francis of Assisi who will entertain us at the end of the formalities and sing some carols. I'd now like to invite the President, Sue Lyons, to introduce our first charity.
Thanks very much, Rob, and I too acknowledge that we meet on the lands of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and any elders here with us today. And I especially welcome these fabulous children from one of our local primary schools, Francis of Assisi in Corwell, and I'm really excited to hear you sing, and I know you've been practising really hard, although one of the students told me she hadn't been practising at all, but she must be a particularly good singer. But they're going to sing for us this morning, and I'm sure you're as excited as the Speaker and I are about lighting up the tree. And what a year it's been, what an honour it is to be standing here. Christmas is a time when most people are able to catch up with cherished families and friends. It's traditionally the season of giving back to those important people in our lives and reflecting on the year that has just passed. Lighting the giving tree offers us the opportunity to do these things. Of course, it's been a year of excitement and possibilities, particularly for me and the team. And just as I reflect on our wins here in Parliament, I'd also like to reflect on the wins of the charities that we're giving to today, especially the charity that I'm supporting, which is the Aboriginal Resource and Development Service Corporation, or ARDS for short. As my chosen charity, all proceeds help ARDS over the coming holiday season to spread gratitude and help others. We all know the holidays look a little different for everyone, but for the team at ARDS it means continuing their work with the Yolngu communities in North East Arnhem, something they've been doing for almost 50 years. The ARDS charity emphasises the importance of language and culture in developing self-empowerment for Aboriginal people. They provide a range of platforms for Aboriginal voices to be heard and support Aboriginal communities to become informed about and engage with mainstream services and systems on their own terms. ARDS is led by Yolngu leaders from across the region, and their cross-cultural approach puts First Nations perspectives, skills and decision-making at the very centre of their work. They draw from Aboriginal knowledge over generations and stories that go back centuries to spread knowledge and reconciliation and advance the opportunities for Aboriginal people who engage with their organisation. Unfortunately, ARDS can't be with us here today, but I do have a few words to read out on their behalf. So ARDS told us that they're a team of people who communicate well with each other, trust each other and work together to unpack and understand the real stories of First Nations people. The community development team does important work including mediation and dispute resolution, health education, legal education, local decision-making, good governance and training for government employees on how to work properly with Yolngu communities. ARDS would like to thank the presiding officers for including them in the Giving Tree program. ARDS plans to use these donations for training new Yolngu staff and fixing up some of their four-wheel drives. So thank you for being with us here today. I'm very excited to hear our special guests sing in a few moments, and I'm handing over to the speaker, or back to you, Rob? Back to Rob.
Thank you, President Lyons. I'd like to now hand over to the Speaker, the Honourable Milton Dick MP, who will introduce our second charity.
Well, thank you very much, Rob, and I too acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we gather and pay my respects to Elders past, present and emerging. Thank you to the President for joining me here today alongside the Departmental Secretary. I'm a massive Christmas fan, so this is probably the best perk of our job so far of becoming a presiding officer, and Christmas right on cue. The Christmas bells are ringing. But Christmas is also a time of giving, and I'm so pleased that the public has joined us today, but also the staff here at Parliament House. I want to also acknowledge any parliamentary colleagues that are here today. I see Dr Helen Haynes, the member for Indi, who's joined us, and all of the wonderful DPS staff that do so much work supporting the occupants here, but making sure that this tree is not just a Christmas tree but a giving tree. And I'm so pleased that over the last couple of years we've raised $30,000 across 19 charities, and that's just in 10 years. As Senator Lyons talked about the charity ARDS, I'm absolutely delighted to honour the charity Red Kite with Monique, who's here today. Red Kite is a beautiful charity, and since 1983, around 40 years, they've been supporting families of a child with cancer, so the kids and their families don't have to face it alone. Red Kite helps families in 4 key areas: emotional and mental health, empowerment, financial resilience, social wellbeing and connection. So every single dollar that this tree will raise goes to those great charities. I've got a lot of respect for Red Kite. I've worked closely with them over the years, and they are just amazing people. And Monique, we're so privileged to have you with us today. I'm wearing my Red Kite badge, and I'll be wearing it in Parliament today in honour of all the work that you do. Soon we'll be hearing from our children, but also the kids have a very important job to do. They're going to help light the tree today. Who wants to help light the tree? Okay, all right. Thought that would be the answer. If only Parliament was that smooth. But thank you for all joining us today, and it's now my honour and privilege to introduce Monique from Red Kite.
I'd like to also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Ngunnawal people, and I respect and acknowledge their continuing culture and their contribution to life here in Canberra and in the region. It is such an honour to be here. I can't tell you how excited I am to be here with Red Kite, and also it's a privilege to be here to represent thousands of children with cancer here in Australia and their families. A really special thank you to the President of the Senate, to the Speaker of the House and to the DPS Secretary. We're so thrilled that Red Kite has been chosen as the charity today because the work we do is so incredibly important. Childhood cancer, no one expects it, no one prepares for it. A mum that I spoke with recently, when her child was diagnosed with cancer, she said it felt like she was hit by a fully loaded train. And there are 90 kids in Australia every month diagnosed with cancer. That's 3 kids every day. 3 kids today, 3 kids tomorrow, and that's 3 families today in Australia whose lives will be completely turned upside down by their child's cancer diagnosis, and they'll begin a long and frightening and uncertain journey ahead. Red Kite, We exist to ensure that the non-medical needs of those kids and families are not forgotten. And it's easy to be forgotten when the medical survival is all anyone talks about, but family survival is also really important, and that's why we're grateful for the support of all of you here today. The timing of your support through the giving tree could not be more important for Red Kite and these families. At Christmas time, it is different for different people, as the President said. For families going through cancer, it can be a really tough period. It can be a time of hospitalisation unexpectedly. Kids still keep getting diagnosed every day with cancer, even through the Christmas period. And for some families, it might be their first Christmas without their son or daughter or brother or sister. The other thing is we keep reading about the increased costs of living, and I think about these families going through cancer, halving their income or having no income at all because they need to be with their family. Red Kite, we're the organisation that steps in to help these families with those things. It's emotional and mental health support, it's financial assistance, keeping the lights on at home and fuel in the car and food on the table, and it's information and resources to help those families navigate the really difficult period. So thank you for giving generously. Your support will be as real as counselling for those families and those real must-haves through cancer. So on behalf of all those kids and families across Australia, thank you so much for your generosity today and through the Christmas period.
Thank you, Mr Speaker and Monique. Since we've lost our President, hopefully we'll give her a little bit of time to get back here. So we'll just switch the order of a couple of things. But first, I'd like to encourage everyone to make a donation to the charities that we are supporting here today. There'll be QR codes for both charities placed near the Christmas tree. You can see there up here on the monitor. They'll be also placed around the building, so please feel free to snap those codes and donate generously. It's fantastic, we've got our President back. We'll return to the normal order. We're going to hear from the kids for a couple of songs, but we'll do that at the end now. So at this point, I think, as the Speaker mentioned, we're going to shake things up. So it won't be the presiding officers that'll be lighting the tree this year. It'll be Nikita and Spencer from St Francis Assisi. So I can ask the Speaker to hand over them. So if you want to come over here a little bit. All right, get your cameras ready. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Push it hard. It's pretty heavy duty, as you probably gathered. So that concludes the festivities. Thank you all for joining us. I'll now invite the students of St Francis Assisi to sing a few Christmas carols for us.
played my best for him. Rum-a-bum-pum, rum-a-bum-pum, rum-a-bum-pum. Then he smiled at me, rum-a-bum-pum, me and my drum. street where we meet. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. And with pride, far and wide, as on the dawning, earth and sky sound the cry of the Christmas morning. So with joy, girl and boy, sing with us together. On this morn, Christ was born. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Praise this song, loud and strong, in the shining weather. Joy bells ring, Christ is King. Merry, merry, merry Christmas.
Thank you, kids. Thank you, kids. I'd like to ask you if you could come up in front of the Christmas tree for some photos with the speaker. That concludes all the formalities this morning. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I wish you a great Christmas and good morning.